We acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as the traditional custodians of our land, Australia. The Gadigal of the Eora Nation are the traditional custodians of our local area, which this podcast is filmed on.
This was recorded at the Media Joint.
Stupid idiots being like, oh, you're Nabo. And it's like...
That is so rogue.
Boy, that's a bit rogue.
Is it even that rogue?
This week's episode of A Bit Rogue with Skye and Tori is a little different one because this week we celebrate NAIDOC Week. National NAIDOC Week celebrations are held across Australia in the first week of July each year, Sunday to Sunday, to celebrate and recognise the history, culture and achievements of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. NAIDOC Week is an opportunity for all Australians to learn about First Nations cultures and histories and participate in celebrations of the oldest continuous living cultures on Earth.
In light of NAIDOC Week, Skye, do you have a Infi story you'd like to share?
You know, every single anything that is happening in the world, I can relate it back to my Infi moments. So
yes, you can.
think about pregnancy, first trimester, extreme fatigue. It is something else. Like one time I fell asleep at a music festival in the Hunter. Like
what?
Yeah, flat on my back. Now, this was a smoking ceremony that my family and I went to, and I obviously had FOMO. I had to go.
Yeah.
But I was extremely tired, and we were on the beach. I laid down because we were having a moment of reflection, and I just fell asleep. But not only do I fall asleep with my eyes open and my mouth wide open, you can't
That's
really...
edge. I'm sorry, that's edge.
Can't help it. My family decided to keep me out of the sun and put a towel over me right up to my chin, so people thought I RIP'd.
They thought you were dead?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did they actually come over and say that?
I don't know. I was asleep. Don't know.
Wild,
but anyway,
wild.
if I can find the photo, I'll put it on the Instagram story because it's pretty savage. In participation of NAIDOC Week, we have decided to get on a good friend who is Indigenous to talk about his life and educate us a little bit on his Indigenous culture.
Welcome, Kyle Shilling, to A Bit Rogue.
Thank you.
Could you give us a little intro about yourself?
My name is Kyle. I am a Widgeable man from the Bundjalung Nation up around Lismore area. I'm a performer, actor, musician / rapper, I guess. And today I'm hanging out with you two losers.
Okay, So you made history being Home and Away's first Indigenous main actor. What does that mean to you?
What does it mean to me? I mean, it's important after they've had it running for 34, 35 years.
So long.
Yeah, way too long to
way too long.
have an Indigenous person come in as a main role. Yeah, I guess it's been a huge. I don't know. I've held it very close to me, considering after so many years, and just having that chance to represent my people on a main TV show, not just nationally but internationally as well. So.
How did they find you? Because obviously there is so many talented women and men in the Indigenous community, and saying it has been 35 years. How did you come about it? Like, did you apply? Did they reach out to you? Yeah,
so funny that I actually applied, auditioned like 3 times in the past, and it wasn't until my last audition that I, obviously a huge thanks to my management, MKM. They've guided me the whole way there. But at the end of the day, it comes down to consistency. I was consistently working in theatre, landing main roles for, 4 or 5 star rated shows that we were doing. And I always say consistency is key. Yes, there are talented people out there, but you can't just rely on your talent all the time. You have to work for it. You could be the worst actor out of 5 people, but because you're consistently working, you're going to get picked up because they see the potential and they see the promise.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I guess that's how I've managed to get into the show because I was consistently working and, you know, I was willing to learn more and wanted to learn more. So I guess just that drive is one thing that got me there. But I'm just talented as fuck. Can I swear? I can swear, right?
Yeah,
of
this
course
is
you
like
can.
marked as explicit on Spotify,
Yeah.
so you're fine.
I mean, it is called a bit rogue. Landing the role at Home and Away, do you feel like you had to put aside your dream as wanting to be like in the music industry as an artist?
Kind of, but I always think back to people like, and these two people are, you know, a huge inspiration in my life, like Tupac and Will Smith. You know, they've balanced that career of actors and musicians
I mean,
as well.
there's so many actors, so many singers and actors.
Exactly.
They do
Yeah.
everything.
Like,
I don't know how they find the time though.
Well, and a lot of the time, like you see, like these artists actually come from their music to then become, you know, big time actors. So if I wasn't going to land these roles in things that I wanted, I always kind of had that thought that, you know, I could be like these two fellas, that the presence in the music world could help me potentially, you know, gain a spot in the acting world. But it was never kind of a fear that I wasn't going to make it, because like I said before, it's the consistency, and I was balancing both worlds. But I actually found that I was putting more effort into my acting anyways. So
Pre-Home and Away?
pre-Home and Away, yes.
Yeah. So you're hoping to concentrate more on that in the future?
Music has always just been like a side hustle for me.
Yeah.
It was always just fun to get up on a stage and perform in front of, you know, a live venue, and it was just a way of me being able to tell my story through music, or you know, get my emotions out through music. It was always it was always just something to blow off a bit of steam. But
100%.
But
so you draw inspiration with your music through like past experiences.
Yeah. So if you ever get a chance to have a proper listen in depth, lyrically it's always about what I've been through, but also there's a few songs there that I write about, you know, my aims into the future and where I'd like to be. But and then, you know, there's also just your little shitty fuck around ones where you just you just rhyme for the sake of it and just talk shit. So
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How does a show like Home and Away appropriately script and kind of create your character?
Do they run everything by you as well?
Okay, so interesting fact, we actually have an Aboriginal consultant on who works with the script writers.
Did you know that before Home and Away?
Yes, so they gave me the option where I could navigate through that by myself, but I told them that my workload is going to be enough learning the script
100%.
and having to become this character that I didn't want to put that on myself. And culturally, I don't know enough of the wider population of Indigenous culture to be able to navigate myself comfortably through that. I know my own stuff, but I don't know others.
Yeah.
And because it's a fictional place, sometimes we do navigate through other areas and the ways that they navigate through cultural aspects. But no, I have this, his name's Majid, he's great. All my trust is on him. He's never let me down. And also, you know, with the guys at Home and Away, with the script writers and the producers and directors and everything, they always make sure that I'm comfortable with telling the story that I'm telling through Marley when it is related through cultural reasoning or events. So yeah, it's they're doing really well, considering it's the first time they've had to do it, and they've taken the bull by the horns, and they're just riding around.
Have they had any like negative backlash at all?
Not them in particular. Yeah, I can't think of any negativity in terms of the way they've written my character or anything. But you know, there's always negative.
How do you feel like the show does represent your culture in a way that's not like too much in your face? Because how does he, for starters, come in? Because I think I watched a scene and they called you River Boy.
Yeah, no. So that I came in just as a friend of the old board shop owner, Dean, and because I've got tattoos, they just, you know, they wanted to elaborate on that, because river boys have tattoos, and they got good old Alf Stewart sitting there eyeing me off down on the beach, just being like, tattoos, he must be a river boy.
Right.
But you know, they're always they're always dangling that kind of stuff in front of people in the show anyways, because everyone wants River Boys back. So it's kind of just that little bit of fun to antagonise the crowd. And they're like, oh my God, oh no, he's just another guy. But I think the best thing about the introduction of my character was I didn't come in as an Aboriginal character. I just came in as a person, which I really, really appreciated, because in the past I'm always playing an Indigenous person doing this.
It can be a bit much if it's just in your face.
And it's like, just get me as a person that comes in and whose heritage just happens to be Indigenous.
Because that is life right now, 2024, right?
Everyone has a label, everyone has a title, and it's like, there's two, which I fully respect, but at the same time, it's like, fuck me, there's just, like, I don't have to go through life with a title. I don't have to be an Aboriginal actor. I can just be, I'm an actor. So
there has been whispers. I'm not speaking on, like, obviously my experience, but my cousin's partner, I don't know the story word for word, but I do know that the school that they went to, they have very little Indigenous blood, and the school wrote on that. They were like, we have Indigenous students. Like, I think they applied for some sporting
scholarship.
Sort of thing on their behalf, because it was so, like, they wanted to put a label on it. So I think it's really good that, you know, Home and Away kind of didn't I don't know how to say it, like, utilize the whole... I mean, and for me, especially, like, growing up, I was always labelled. I always had labels, like, and dabbling in a little bit about that. Like, I went to a Christian school when we were younger, from the public system into a Christian school, because they didn't have enough Indigenous people, that they were handing out Indigenous-based scholarships for kids to come in. So me, my brother, and one of our good friends at the time were lucky enough to receive it. But and then you get there, and then it was just us three, in maybe a couple more throughout the years growing up there. And it's just like, and it was weird because it's such a highly populated Indigenous town. But it's still interesting to just see the diversity between private and public. And for us to have got into a private, we needed a scholarship to get into that school. So, Did they then, when you were at school, did you feel like they were using you as, like, token almost? Did they?
Just
how did
that make you
feel?
South Park.
How did that make you feel as, like, because is this primary school?
Yep.
Such a young age to be like, these are the kids that are on the scholarship. Like, did that make you ever feel like a bit like an outcast?
Well, I never really felt outcast until I was a little bit older, because Aboriginality never really, not saying didn't mean much to me, but as a kid you don't really think about that as something that is you. You just see you and your friends and you have a laugh and you go along. You're not the...
You're a bit more naive when you're a kid.
I don't become the Aboriginal kid laughing in the group of white kids, you know. But it wasn't, I didn't really find that pressure or that kind of separation between me and other people around me until I was maybe about 10 years old or something. And we were walking through one of the shopping centres with our parents, and I've got two white parents. I didn't grow up with my Indigenous side. And so the security guard didn't think that me and my brother were the children of these people. And then... we got first we got followed around the shop and then physically dragged out by the security guard trying to say that we were stealing stuff. And my parents were like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? Like, these are our kids, and they were doing this, they were doing that. It's like, we literally just went down one aisle while mum and dad were looking in the kitchen
like
where to have a look at toys.
Kids do that as a kid. I just don't know how, as a parent, I would navigate that, just because, like, one, it's your child, and two, like, just the rage that comes over you as a parent.
My mum.
Like, I personally wouldn't have been invited back to that store.
My mum easily could have got a life ban, I reckon.
Fine.
Well, we're her children, and she would just blow up.
Fair enough.
No, 100%.
And she grew up around staunch black women, like Latrell Mitchell, his mum. They were like best friends, Auntie Trish, and so
Go
to be a
Souths.
woman, but like to be a woman in Taree as well, you got to have that. You got to have that kind of staunchness, because it is such a kick you to the ground town. So old school racist and sexist. It's just like,
There's a lot of old school racism in Taree still.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think many people like in Sydney recognize that hours drive from their home there is like blatant day-to-day racism.
Yeah.
Like
I cop
I know
it
a
here,
lot
but
of
I cop it here.
Really?
I copped it multiple times in the Northern Beaches.
Shut up.
Just like straight up fucking stupid idiots being like, oh, you're Nabo. And it's like,
People don't
"Oh."
understand that's not appropriate to speak
But
like
see,
that.
and like they sit there and they say, oh, you know, it's just a shortened term. It's like, no, it's not. And you know, like that word itself is so piercing.
yeah.
Like, you know, when you say it, that it's not right.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
and
not.
it's so simple just to
But
change
but then
the
they
proper
sit there and
way.
go, oh, you know, just didn't know. Like, I haven't met an Aboriginal before. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I guarantee you have, but you've just been so stubborn and fucking stupid that you just don't acknowledge
Not
that you've
having
met
their
these
eyes
people.
open to
Yeah.
it.
For
Yeah.
sure.
But
Wow.
no, it's everywhere you go. But like you said, yeah, Taree is very, very much like that. And, you know, you see it in, for example, Latrell Mitchell's strength on and off the footy field, copping racism. You know, he grew up with it his whole life too. So now he's this big, proud black fella that's just like shutting shit down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think he's made waves in the NRL because I know in the AFL years ago,
Goodsy.
I was going to say Adam Goods got a name yelled out at him, and like that was, I feel like the AFL is a bit of a different organisation in terms of the NRL, how they manage things, but I think this was the first time that the NRL actually spoke up and was like, this
Yes.
is not okay. So yeah, he has been a bit of like a wave maker.
Yeah, and we've had multiple in the past, but it's just because he's young, he's big, he's a gun football.
He's got a
player.
loud mouth.
Yeah, and you know, he's just like his mum, and you know, all respect to them. That's why he is who he is, and that's why he's come so far. But yeah, just don't fuck around with proud black people, really.
Going back to primary school chat,
Yep.
I was saying earlier, my last memory of learning about Indigenous people was literally year 3
Yeah, it
or
would have
year
been
4.
early primary school for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember learning of it at all. So I went to a Catholic school right up until my senior years, and the senior years was a public school. We didn't learn further.
No.
I don't think so.
No, definitely
Yeah.
not.
Which is one disappointing as an Australian. I feel like, you know, it should be a part of everyday learnings. Do you feel that way as well? Do you feel
Yeah.
like that New South Wales is lacking education?
Yeah, well, it's not even just New South Wales, you know, it's the whole nation when it comes to the schooling system. They lack a lot of shit, but you know, I remember growing up and in primary school we didn't learn anything, and then when I was in high school and you get to your elective years, like year 10, 11, 12, there was a chance that a Indigenous and Aboriginal studies class would go ahead, but we had to have 30 people interested in the class for it to go ahead. We were lucky it did, but I still remember sitting there and like you'd learn nothing. They kind of bypass the whole, you know, the important history of Indigenous people and kind of just say, well, this happened, that happened. But now we've got great sports stars.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was absolute bullshit. They didn't have the correct curriculum for this class. It was a shot in the dark, and it just didn't work out. But I actually went back to Taree not too long ago, and it was for a NAIDOC event. And for the first 2 years, year 7 and 8, instead of learning French or Japanese, they actually learned the local Biripai Gatang, which is the local Aboriginal language there now. So
But
I'm
why
watching.
is
I'm
not
watching.
every fucking school doing that?
I know
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a weird
yeah.
out. Like I've you know, and I'm seeing these Indian, Chinese, whatever white kids sitting there speaking almost fluent Aboriginal dialect to the Biripai people, and then
That's really special. So why is it not consistent throughout all the
Yeah.
schools?
well, the issue is obviously because of you know, the White Australia policy and things like that, and you're not allowed to learn or speak your Aboriginal dialect, language is lost. So you can't.
I didn't know that.
Can't,
Can you explain that a little bit more?
So like the White Australia policy during it's like when kids were being taken from their parents and things, it went off like a percentage base, and that's one reason why people, as Indigenous people, we don't talk about our percentage, because that kind of puts you back in time when percentages was when they could take the child. So if like they were half caste, they could take the child because that kid he's more reluctant to fit into the white Australia and then breed out. So that's the White Australia policy. Fun fact, the national anthem, worst song in the human race, Advanced Australia Fair has now changed from fair skin to fair as in equality. So that's what that was the original meaning.
Holy shit, I actually thought Advanced Australia Fair was just like a shopping fair. Like we have Australia Fair on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
I never, ever once associated it with fair skin.
No, neither did
Yeah.
I.
So, and
I don't
that's
think
what
many people know that.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and that's not on them. That's literally just because of the schooling system, and you know the curriculum's just fucking stupid. But that's partially what the White Australia policy was, to breed out Indigenous people. Yeah.
My partner, she just became an Aussie citizen, and there's a question that was in the citizenship test, and I'm going to butcher the wording a little bit, but it was something along the lines of, it was to do with when, like, you know, the Europeans came and settled.
Yeah.
And like how it was something like, how did the Europeans come to assimilate with Australian native peoples? And the correct answer for the test was like through peaceful negotiation and compromise. Yeah.
Can we add crickets in the background of this,
Yeah.
this edit?
Yeah.
That is the most bullshit I've ever heard. My family background is that of Aboriginal and South Sea Islander from Vanuatu Islands. And my great-great-grandmother was blackbirded from over in the South Sea Islands, brought here as a sugarcane slave. And, you know, she'd had somewhere around like, I don't know, above 10 children, 15 kids or something, all taken, put straight into the system. And then my great-grandmother, one of them, she was like one of 11 or something like that, taken straight into the system. And then my grandmother taken straight into the system. And then even my grandmother, when she had her kids in Lismore, they were still removing kids straight off as soon as they were born, straight into the foster care system. So there's never been a peaceful negotiation ever. It was draw your guns and shoot them down.
They talk about how we've got to be better about it now. There's, you know, everyone's talking about there's 500,000 people immigrating into Australia per year at the moment. So that's 500,000 people that are being educated.
That's how it was done.
Yeah.
And it's absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Sit them down with me, I'll tell them the truth. No way. I mean, there may have been a handful of people that were peaceful about things, but majority of it was, I mean, where do massacres come from? Where does the history of Indigenous people being massacred come from if it was a peaceful resolution? I call bullshit.
Being Indigenous in the public eye, do you feel pressure from within yourself or community to educate through your platforms?
Yes and no, because I feel like I'm not the one that has to educate. If you want to become educated, you do your own learnings. But I'm also not obliged to, you know, if someone asks me a question and wants to have my input or my outtake on something, I'm more than happy to answer it.
Yeah.
But it's you know, a lot of people ask me like, oh, what about this? What about that? And it's like, well, I don't know the full answer, but there's the internet.
But do you appreciate people like wanting to learn when they ask you?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. That's awesome.
But also sometimes like it's just really stupid stuff, and I'm like, oh, get out of my face and just
of course, yeah.
But I'm fully open to people wanting to learn and ask me questions. But then again, I don't know everything either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Well, we obviously really appreciate you talking
I
to us.
appreciate
Yeah.
you too.
No, this has
And I
been super
appreciate
nice.
you too. And that guy over there. No, I'm more than happy to sit here and talk about these things.
Yeah.
You know, because these are great platforms for people to listen and see and take their own perspective of what I've spoken about or what we've spoken about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on to a little bit more naughtier stuff. Did you
Ouch.
come prepared with a rogue moment for us?
A rogue moment. Now, when we say rogue, what are you meaning by a rogue moment?
It can be anything. It can be
Anything?
something funny, something crazy.
Could be
A
it
night
can
out.
be personal story, work story.
Yeah.
Lismore story.
Embarrassing story. Like, doesn't matter, whatever you feel comfortable
Okay, I
with.
was like 16.
Straight into it. Straight into it.
This is actually, fuck, I don't even know if I want to say it.
Everyone says the
Yeah.
same
Okay.
thing. Just fork and spit it out.
I'm going to speak to you now. So when I was when I was 16, I mean, they're still funny. Farts are funny, right? Farts are funny.
We were talking about this on the way
Farts?
over.
Yes.
Farts are funny.
Yeah.
Like, do you know there was this thing I saw on the internet, and it's something about like you fart like something like 80% of your life. Like 80% of your life you spent farting or some shit like that.
That makes sense
And so-
because I don't.
But no,
feel
you're
like
interrupting
I
me.
fart, but I must.
So you're interrupting me.
Sorry.
So 80% of the time, I think it's like that. So it's over half your life you spend farting.
But
And
that
then
would
at the
mean
end,
you're
no,
farting
no.
right now.
You don't know. But so then you think about it. If you find farts funny, that's good because that means you spent over half of your lifetime laughing at farts. So you've actually spent majority of your life in a good
Being
mood.
happy.
Being
Yeah,
happy.
I like that.
Okay, so back to my rogue
I
moment.
thought that was
Yeah.
your rogue
No,
story, and I was
no.
like,
So I
Right.
thought if we were younger, 16, hanging out at the park, doing what 16-year-olds do, you know, maybe a couple of cheeky drinks there. And,
so scared.
and my mate, was sitting next to me on the park bench, and we all like there was probably about 8 of us, and I thought it'd be really funny to fart on him. And so
On him.
Yeah. So yeah, and so I like got up and I've just gone, obviously like this, and I shat myself. Completely shat myself, and I've sat down and I'm like, kind of played it off like, oh, I just farted. Everyone's like laughing. And
Carl
then,
stinks.
yeah, and then it was like 2 minutes later, someone was like, fuck, that smells really just lingering, isn't it? I was like, yeah. Then I was like, I gotta go to the toilet.
Run home.
Went to the public toilet. Oh my.
Did you
fuck.
ditch your knickers? What did you do?
No, I rinsed them off in the sink and I put them back on. Of course, I
That's
ditched
heavy.
my knickers. Flushed them and straight back out, free ball them for the rest of the night. But it was horrible. It wasn't even just like a little nugget. It was like a full blown.
Bit of a mess.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Should have worn a napkin.
80% of the time.
I think it's
I don't-
80s,
Or
probably
maybe
less.
80% of days in the year or something like that.
Yeah, it
I
has
don't
to
know.
be
All I
80%
know
of
is
days.
that I'm enjoying my life to the
If
fullest.
it's 80% of the time, that's like full leaky ass.
Moral of the story is, if you don't laugh at farts, you're spending most of your life depressed.
I need
You
to
heard it
like
here first.
acknowledge.
You heard it
farts
here
more.
first.
So, every guest gets a game. Today's game is Would You Rather.
Hit me.
To stay on the theme of NAIDOC week,
Yes.
I've got, this is 2 different ones, and they're Bush Tucker related.
Okay.
So, goanna or turtle?
Love turtle. Had turtle. Eaten turtle eggs.
Turtle eggs.
Delicious. Mm-hmm.
How do you
Can't
do?
eat goanna because that's my tribal totem. So it's turtle.
Wow. But how do you eat turtle eggs?
Cook them.
With your mouth.
Thanks, Josh.
I was up in the Torres Strait Islands and they went and got a big turtle. But yeah, turtle eggs. You
Boil them or?
boil them or you can just cook them over the fire. But they're weird because you munch into them and then you obviously munch through an unborn. turtle.
Fuck off.
And it's like
And
crunchy.
they're crunchy.
Yeah,
That's so
delicious,
weird,
but
though. Like the texture.
turtle. And I've had dugong.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I've seen a giant. Oh, can I just quickly tell you? I went to the aquarium when I was pregnant, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to take my kid here one day. Went and saw the dugong. Its fucking penis was out. Giant dugong penis. And if you don't,
Penis.
if you don't believe me, Google dugong penis
I
on
don't want
Google
that in
Images.
my history.
Yeah.
I'll just show you later. Don't worry. Okay, so this one is. I feel like I could even answer this one confidently, but emu or kangaroo?
Either. Kangaroo.
Kangaroo's leaner.
Lean, high protein. You know, good feed. You use kangaroo mince in either chili con carne or in your spag bowl.
Made chili
My
con carne
dad,
last night.
my dad cooks like
Stinks,
that.
but don't eat kangaroo sausages. Blech.
Feed them to the kookaburras.
Got it.
That's what my family does.
Yeah, they're gross.
All right, be an actor, but you can never be an artist, or be an artist, but you can never be an actor.
Oh. Be an actor, never be an artist.
Why?
Because people get to see my face more.
Shawty. That's
No,
right.
I think I just enjoy screen.
Yeah.
You know, my aim is to be a big movie star. You know, that's where it's at.
Sure.
Yes.
Love it.
Okay, so since obviously doing the big move down to the big smoke,
Yes.
live in the country or live by the sea?
See, I've always been kind of country and sea. Like Taree is very
You're not too
country.
far from the ocean, right,
No,
though?
it's like a 15-minute drive, but then you're in Taree and it's like a big dairy farm town back in the day as well. But then moving to Tweed Heads was a lot more coastal, but then you've also got all your sugarcane farms and stuff as well. So I've always been torn between the two, but
Do you like cracking the whip or going for a surf better? I feel like that's what it's at.
well, both. I can't really do much anymore because of my shoulders. I'm just going logistically right now. Oh, fuck, that's tough. Can it be country but like still like 15 minutes from the ocean?
No,
Well,
it's
that's like
one or the other.
Okay, fuck.
You've got Glenbourne
How do you
Dam
work with this person?
or the ocean.
Um,
Don't bully me. You make me fucking toey. Come on, spit it out.
let's just go. Oh, far out. I'm gonna say ocean just because saltwater seafood is so much better
Facts.
than like freshwater fish.
All right, last one. Be a twin or be a triplet?
Oh, twin. I am a twin.
That's
Oh,
why
you
we're
knew
out.
that. Congratulations, guys. You did your
You didn't
research.
Yeah, but why
What?
would you prefer to have just a
I'd
twin and not a
hate
twin?
another one of me and my brother.
Okay, what about only child or twin? Oh, wait. Yeah.
I come from a family of like 5 people. I
Yeah.
don't think I could imagine being an only
Neither can
child.
I. No, neither
Fuck
can I.
that. No one to pass the blame.
I actually don't think I'd be like I love pranking people, and I think it comes from being the eldest of 4. I've done some
What's
pretty
your best
gnarly
prank? Just one.
I wouldn't say it's my best, but it definitely, like, my siblings still talk about it and they're like proper rattled. So my parents were both at work and I was watching
You
my young
kidnapped them.
close. So they were just being little pests, and I was like, I'll call the cops if you don't fucking shut up. This gets so bad. So I told them to go hide in my parents' room because I was like, there was a siren that went by and I just played on it and I was like, that's it, that's them. My sister hid behind this mirror for hours.
He's
Anyway.
so mean.
So fucking funny.
Trust
And she
issues.
still talks about it.
Mean.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Isla.
that is. Isla, beat her up.
She
Do it.
did after, like, when we were a bit older, so. But that's siblings.
That's
Facts.
life.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
I think
thank you.
Nice,
we haven't, you know, touched on half the amount of things that we could have, but I think we both have learnt a lot, and I think everyone needs to continue doing some self-learnings as well.
Yes. Yeah, don't bombard us. Bombard the internet
Yeah.
with like real facts.
There is
Or even
actually a
other-
lot of info
books.
online.
Books. I hate reading, but books.
Audiobooks. Thank
you. No, thanks for having me here at A Bit Rogue. You've been great, and hopefully I get to see you again soon. Peace out, motherfuckers.
Thanks for listening to A Bit Rogue, where we uncover the stories of athletes, artists, and celebrities with their most rogue moments. Episodes dropping every Wednesday.